Hey there, this is Pastor Ruben, and right now I'm glad that I can connect with you this way. Today I want to talk to you about our week 6 of our 10 weeks, 10 challenges. And today we're focusing in on the importance of prayer and fasting. What if there was a way that you could have the certainty that you were connecting with God and that God was answering your prayers? God tells us that there's a way that we can achieve that. It's called prayer, which you knew, and fasting, which you kind of knew, right? So before you say no to fasting, let me make a case for it. There's 3 reasons that I want to share with you today of why we should pray and fast. The first one is that fasting and prayer creates moments in our life, in our day, to focus in on God. It creates whether an hour, a half a day, or a full day to just focus in on God, to be able to claim God's promises and to be able to hear from God. And when we create these moments, we are serious about what God wants to do and what we are asking from God in those moments. Now, if we let time and our mood and our day dictate whether we're going to connect with God or not, most likely it will never happen. And if it does happen, many times it's so superficial that we walk out of those encounters with God without having the certainty that God is real and that God is working in our lives. Now, when I take an hour or a day or half a day to focus in on God, I walk out knowing that God heard my prayer and that God will work through it. The second reason that we should fast and pray is that fast and prayer tells God that we mean business, that we're serious about our prayer, that we're hurting deeply, and that we need Him to work in a special way. So it's not just this drive-by prayer or this accidental prayer or this prayer of circumstance, but it's a prayer that's intentional, that it's focused, where we want to tell God how serious we are about how we want Him to work in our lives. The third reason is that prayer unlocks God's supernatural power. It allows God, it gives God permission to work in our lives in a different way, in a powerful way, in a non-human way. And I know that right now, we need God to work in a supernatural way. Whether you're dealing with anxiety or you're feeling alone, whether you're struggling in a relationship or you're struggling with sending your kids to school or working at a school, this is the time where we need to focus in on God, to allow God to calm our fears, to calm our anxiety. When we need to allow God to give us wisdom to make good decisions, it's a time to allow God to fill us with love, to calm down the hate and the divisiveness and the separation that we see right now in our country and in our world. If there was ever a time to pray, it's now. You see, Moses felt that he needed to fast and pray before he received the 10 Commandments. Daniel felt that he needed to fast and pray before God revealed to him Nebuchadnezzar's dream and the interpretation of it. Jesus felt he needed to pray. This is Jesus, God's Son, felt he needed to fast and pray before he started his ministry. And so we see the early church in the book of Acts chapter 12. They fasted as they came across obstacles and difficult situations. They turned to God with all of their mind, with all of their heart, with all of their body. So you might be asking, how can I fast and pray? I think there's kind of 3 ways that we can do this. We can fast an entire day. We can fast for half a day or half of our meals, or we can maybe just replace our meals with smoothies or fruit juices to kind of have something in our body but still focus on God. And so you can fast from food, but you can also fast from television. You can fast from social media. You can fast from your phone. Anything that will, by putting aside, will create more space for you to spend with God. So personally, I'm choosing to fast on Saturday. Okay, I'm doing a full fast on Saturday, and I want to spend that day praying for you, praying for our families, for our young adults, for our teens, for our children. I want to pray for our school, for our staff, for our childcare center, and everyone on our campus. And I also want to extend my prayer and pray for our community, asking for God to bring healing, to bring unity, to bring His love to change hearts. So will you join me? You can join me on Saturday. You can join me any day this week and next week, just to be able to spend some time with God, whether it's an hour, whether it's 6 hours, or a full day, to focus in on God. And so check this out. God is waiting for you. He's waiting for me. He wants to do something amazing. He's already doing something amazing in our world. Right now, we might not be able to see it. But by focusing on God, God will begin to open our eyes to see what He's doing or He wants to do inside of us and what He's doing in our world. Will you join me?